There are plenty of reasons a man might text you again after going quiet for a while. Maybe he's curious about what you've been up to. Maybe he genuinely misses you and the connection you two had. Or maybe, and this is the one most women refuse to consider, he's simply checking whether he still has a hold on you, testing the waters to see if you're still standing exactly where he left you. The trouble is that most women treat every single message like it's the golden opportunity they've been praying for, instead of treating it like what it actually is, a test of their character, their patience, and their self-respect. Today, you're going to learn 6 mistakes to steer clear of if he messages you again out of nowhere, so that you can hold on to your dignity, protect your self-respect, and make every decision that follows from a place of strength rather than raw, unfiltered emotion. If you're with me on this, drop a comment that says, "I control my emotions," because that mindset is exactly what we're building here. Number 1, don't make yourself instantly available the moment he reaches back out after however many days, weeks, or months of total silence. Every fiber of your being wants to believe this is finally the chance you've been quietly waiting for. And that feeling right there is exactly why you need to slow everything down instead of speeding up and diving in head first. The first mistake, the one nearly every woman makes, is handing over your time, your focus, and your emotional energy right away, as though none of the silence, the confusion, or the hurt ever happened in the first place. He disappears for days, sometimes weeks, sometimes entire months without a word. Then, completely out of nowhere, he sends a short, casual message, and just like that, your mind starts constructing an entire future that doesn't exist yet and may never exist at all. You start picturing things finally working out. You picture him having changed for the better. You convince yourself that this one simple text somehow proves he's finally realized your true value. But here's the hard truth. A single message proves absolutely nothing. Talk is cheap. Words cost nothing. Anyone, genuinely anyone, can fire off a quick text when they're bored on a Tuesday night, feeling lonely, curious about your life, or simply craving a bit of attention to fill a gap. What actually matters, what has always mattered, is consistency. And consistency is something that only reveals itself with time. It cannot be faked in a single conversation. If he genuinely cares about you and values what you two had, he will not vanish from your life just because you didn't reply within 5 minutes of his message. He will not lose interest in you simply because you're out living your life instead of sitting by your phone, refreshing your notifications, waiting for his name to appear on the screen. A man who truly wants to reconnect with you will respect your space and your time, because on some level, he understands and accepts that your entire world does not revolve around him and never should. The real issue is that far too many women hand everything back the very second he resurfaces. They reply instantly, they clear their schedules without a second thought, they push their own priorities aside, and they make themselves available on demand at any hour for any reason. They genuinely believe this proves how much they care and how serious their interest is. But in reality, all it does is quietly tell him that nothing has changed on your end, that he still has instant, effortless access to you whenever he feels like using it, and that your attention will always be sitting there, waiting patiently for him to show up again. Attention holds real value precisely because it is limited and finite. The moment you start giving it away freely, without thought, without discernment, you cheapen it and reduce its worth in his eyes and in your own. Think honestly about your own life for a moment. The things you've had to work hardest for are almost always the things you value and respect the most. That exact same principle applies here in matters of the heart. Your time has value, your energy has value, your peace of mind has enormous value. Protecting those things fiercely is not arrogance, and it is not coldness. It is simple, necessary self-respect. This is precisely why you should never rush to reopen a door that he himself chose to close. Let his actions, not his words, explain why he has suddenly come back around. Instead of letting your emotions write the entire story for you in advance, stay calm and grounded. Continue on with your day exactly as planned. Finish the work you set out to do. Keep the promises you made to yourself. long before you consider making any new promises to someone else. A woman who abandons her own purpose and her own goals every single time someone re-enters her life has no solid foundation to stand on. And without that foundation, every relationship she tries to build becomes inherently unstable, shaky, and destined to collapse under pressure. You simply cannot build a peaceful, lasting future on top of desperate, reactive decisions made in the heat of the moment. Give yourself the room and the time to observe quietly before acting. Listen far more than you speak. Watch far more carefully than you assume or guess. Let his intentions reveal themselves naturally over time, because time always exposes exactly what words are so often used to hide or disguise. If he becomes impatient or irritated because you are not immediately available the second he reaches out, stop and ask yourself honestly why he expects instant unconditional access after being the one who created all that distance in the first place. Someone who genuinely respects you will also respect the pace you choose to move at. The greatest mistake here is not replying a little too late or a little too early. The greatest mistake is forgetting your own worth the very second he reappears in your life. Never let one single notification erase all the hard-won lessons you learned during the time he was absent from your life. Use that entire stretch of silence as proof that you survived just fine without constant contact from him, that you grew stronger and more self-reliant without needing his approval, and that your life kept moving forward with real purpose the whole time. When you learn to protect your attention instead of giving it away freely to anyone who reappears, you stop acting purely from fear and start acting instead from a place of genuine clarity. That clarity is exactly where good, sound decisions begin, and it is exactly where real, lasting confidence quietly and steadily grows over time. Number 2, stay calm and patient. When he reaches out to you again, your single biggest advantage in that moment is not crafting the perfect witty reply. It is mastering and controlling your own emotional response. Emotional control is what allows you to see the situation exactly as it really is, instead of the comforting fantasy your mind desperately wants to create to protect itself from disappointment. Excitement becomes genuinely dangerous the moment it convinces you that everything has already changed for the better before any real, tangible evidence exists to support that belief. A single conversation, no matter how warm or promising it feels, cannot erase months of confusion, emotional distance, or mixed and contradictory signals. This is exactly why patience becomes your single greatest strength in this entire process. Patience is not simply waiting around, hoping against hope that he will eventually become the person you once imagined him to be. Real patience is refusing outright to make life-changing decisions until you have gathered enough truth and enough evidence to make those decisions wisely and with a clear head. Far too many women become so overwhelmingly relieved just to hear from him again that they completely ignore everything that happened before his silence began. They convince themselves almost instantly that this time will somehow be different simply because he happened to send a message. But real, lasting change is never measured by promises alone. It is measured only by repeated actions sustained consistently over time. Pay very close attention to whether he communicates with real consistency, whether he genuinely respects the boundaries you've set, whether he shows authentic interest in the details of your everyday life, and whether he invests the same level of energy and effort that he expects and demands from you in return. These are the things that truly matter in the end. Your emotions will always crave quick, definitive answers, but your actual future depends entirely on slow, careful, patient observation. There is real, quiet strength in remaining steady and composed, even while everything inside you is screaming for immediate certainty and resolution. Your inner peace should never, under any circumstances, depend on whether he happens to reply to you today or tomorrow or next week. Because the moment another person's behavior begins to control your own emotional state, you have quietly and unknowingly handed over control of your entire life to someone else. Build a mindset and a daily structure where your routines continue running smoothly regardless of who walks into your life or who walks back out of it. Wake up every single day with a clear sense of purpose. Take active steps to improve your physical health. Continue learning new skills that make you sharper and more capable. Spend meaningful time with people who bring genuine honesty and positivity into your life. Keep becoming a stronger, more grounded version of yourself with every day that passes, because your personal progress and growth cannot afford to pause every single time someone decides to send you a message. The plain truth is that people instinctively notice and respect the woman who remains calm and composed under pressure, because true calmness simply cannot be faked convincingly for very long. It comes only from genuinely knowing, deep down, that your value as a person does not rise or fall based on someone else's fluctuating attention or interest. If he truly and sincerely wants to become part of your life again, he will come to appreciate your stability and your steadiness instead of expecting or demanding dramatic emotional reactions from you. If, on the other hand, he loses interest specifically because you refuse to act impulsively or desperately, then he was never actually looking for a strong, solid foundation in the first place. He was looking only for easy, effortless access to your emotions. And make no mistake, those are two entirely different things. Never confuse urgency with genuine importance. Some real opportunities in life actually become stronger and more solid the more they are tested by time, while shallow, weak intentions tend to disappear almost immediately the moment they are not rewarded instantly with attention. Let that entire process unfold naturally, at its own pace. Do not rush to eliminate uncertainty prematurely, because uncertainty, uncomfortable as it may feel, often reveals a person's true character far more clearly and honestly than comfort ever possibly could. Every single day that you choose patience over panic, discipline over impulse, and clear, rational thinking over raw emotional reaction, you become a woman who is measurably harder to manipulate and considerably easier to respect. That kind of internal transformation reaches far beyond just your romantic relationships. It fundamentally changes how you handle disappointment, how you handle success, how you handle pressure and temptation, and how you handle every single challenge that life places directly in front of you. The real victory here is not that he happened to contact you again after all this time. The real, lasting victory is that you have become someone capable of thinking with genuine clarity before deciding who truly deserves a place in your life going forward. If you're serious, genuinely serious, about becoming the kind of woman who never has to wonder what to do next in these situations, this is your opportunity to take real action. The Stoic Relationship Blueprint course is now available for a limited time at a discount of more than 30% off. But this particular offer is ending very soon and will not be extended. We spent countless hours meticulously building this complete, step-by-step system, drawing on over 2,000 years of timeless philosophical wisdom, specifically to help you build unshakable confidence, master your emotions under any circumstance, set firm and lasting boundaries, avoid years of painful and repeated mistakes, and completely transform every relationship in your life. All of this with lifetime access included, plus a companion ebook and audiobook. There has genuinely never been a better time to invest seriously in yourself and your own growth. So check the link in the description right now before this offer disappears for good, and comment Blueprint course below if you're truly ready to change your life forever. Number 3, let him show real, genuine effort. When he comes back around into your life again, don't become so completely focused on keeping the conversation alive and flowing that you forget to notice, honestly, whether he is actually investing real effort into it as well. Because genuine, real interest is never carried by just one single person alone. It takes two people pulling in the same direction. It's easy, understandably, to get excited when he sends you a message, asks sincerely how you've been doing, or brings up a fond old memory from your time together. But that excitement should never be allowed to replace sound, careful judgment. Give him the genuine opportunity to show you exactly who he is through consistent, repeated actions, instead of filling in all the blanks yourself with your own hopeful assumptions. If he truly and sincerely wants another chance with you, he will actively make time for you instead of expecting you to constantly rearrange your own life around his schedule whenever it happens to be convenient for him. He will ask you thoughtful questions because he genuinely wants to know how your life has been going. He will remember the small but important things that matter deeply to you. He will communicate with real respect and consideration, instead of disappearing without any explanation and then casually returning as though absolutely nothing ever happened. You are not searching for perfection here, because nobody on this earth is perfect. But you are absolutely looking for real effort that genuinely matches and backs up the words being spoken to you. One of the single biggest mistakes women consistently make is rewarding very small, minimal investment with completely unlimited attention in return. A single passing message somehow turns into hours upon hours of conversation. A small, minor sign of interest somehow becomes full, complete emotional commitment on your part. That fundamental imbalance creates deep disappointment down the road because expectations grow far, far faster than actual trust does. Trust, real lasting trust, is built slowly and deliberately over time. It grows every single time someone keeps their word to you, every time they demonstrate real consistency, and every time they choose honesty even when that honesty happens to be uncomfortable or inconvenient for them. Give that entire process the time and space it genuinely deserves and requires. Do not rush to give someone a significant place in your life that they have not yet actually earned through their own demonstrated behavior. Respect yourself enough to expect and demand the same level of effort that you yourself are willing and ready to give in return. Healthy relationships become genuinely healthy specifically because both people involved carry equal responsibility instead of one person doing all of the exhausting emotional work while the other person simply receives it passively without giving anything back. If you find that you're always the one starting every conversation, always making the plans, always fixing every misunderstanding, and always carrying the entire emotional weight of the relationship on your own shoulders, then honestly ask yourself whether you are building a genuine partnership together or simply carrying an entire relationship on your own back, alone. Your energy and effort deserve to be genuinely returned in kind, not merely passively accepted and taken for granted. Continue living your own life fully, while you carefully observe whether his actions become truly consistent over the course of weeks and months, rather than just a handful of emotionally charged days here and there. Keep actively pursuing your own personal goals. Protect your daily routines fiercely and refuse outright to place your entire future on hold while you wait around to see what eventually happens. This entire approach is not about artificially creating distance just for the sake of appearances or playing games. It is genuinely about giving yourself enough breathing room and space to make wise, level-headed decisions instead of purely emotional, reactive ones. The right person for you will not be discouraged or put off by reasonable, healthy standards, because genuine interest naturally welcomes accountability and responsibility. The wrong person, on the other hand, often loses interest entirely once they realize they cannot continue receiving endless attention from you without ever giving the same level of effort back in return. That kind of outcome is not actually a loss on your part at all. It is genuine clarity, and that clarity saves you from investing your heart and your time into a situation where your effort simply is not respected or valued. Every single time you choose patience over fantasy, careful observation over hasty assumption, and firm standards over quiet desperation, you strengthen your own character and protect your inner peace a little more. In the end, the single greatest sign of true confidence is not successfully convincing someone to stay in your life against their own inclination. It is knowing with total certainty that you can walk away from absolutely anyone who refuses to meet you with the same honesty, respect, and genuine commitment that you so freely and consistently offer them. Number 4, watch his actions closely. Pay very close, careful attention to what he consistently and repeatedly does, because actions reveal a person's true character far more clearly and honestly than any emotional conversation ever possibly could. Literally anyone can make grand promises when the moment feels comfortable and emotionally charged, but it is daily, ordinary behavior that tells the real, unvarnished story over time. Listen to him carefully, yes, but watch his actions even more carefully than that. Does he actually keep his word when he tells you he will call at a certain time? Does he genuinely make time for you even when his life gets busy and hectic? Does he communicate with real respect even in the middle of a disagreement or argument? These specific moments are the ones that truly matter because they reveal exactly who he really is underneath the surface. Once the initial emotions settle down and ordinary everyday life resumes its normal pace, women far too often become so completely focused on beautiful, comforting words that they end up ignoring obvious behavioral patterns standing right there in front of them. They explain away every single disappointment, they create convenient excuses on his behalf, and they convince themselves that things will inevitably improve without any real, tangible evidence to support that belief. Hope is genuinely valuable and worthwhile when it is actively supported by consistent, demonstrated behavior. But hope without any real evidence behind it can keep you trapped indefinitely in situations that slowly and steadily drain your confidence and self-worth over time. You deserve, genuinely, to judge the relationship based on what actually and repeatedly happens in reality, not based on what you simply wish would happen in some ideal version of events. Stay firmly grounded in reality, even when your emotions are actively encouraging you to move faster than you should. Ask yourself honestly whether his behavior consistently creates genuine peace in your life or constant nagging uncertainty instead. Ask yourself whether you actually feel respected through his real actions instead of only hearing respectful-sounding words from him. Healthy relationships grow stronger over time specifically because both people involved build trust through reliable, consistent behavior, not because one person keeps making endless excuses for the other person's shortcomings. At the same time, examine your own actions with that exact same level of brutal honesty. Are you genuinely maintaining your own personal standards, or are you quietly lowering them out of fear of losing him? Are you remaining fully true to your own core values, or are you slowly changing who you fundamentally are just to keep him interested in staying around? Self-respect grows steadily every single time your actions actually match your stated principles, especially in those moments when it would clearly be far easier to simply compromise on them instead. Continue living a genuinely disciplined life that does not depend in any way on another person's approval or validation. Keep your commitments to yourself, protect your valuable time fiercely, and invest consistently in the daily habits that improve your future, regardless of who happens to be standing beside you at any given moment. This way, your confidence comes reliably from your own personal choices instead of from another person's fluctuating attention. If his actions genuinely become more consistent, more respectful, and more dependable over time, then trust has a real and legitimate chance to grow naturally between you two. If, on the other hand, his actions remain inconsistent while his promises simply keep getting bigger and more dramatic, believe the actual pattern you're observing instead of believing the promise itself. Reality is always, without exception, a far better guide than wishful thinking could ever be. Choosing to accept what you can clearly and objectively see, instead of what you desperately hope to be true, is genuinely one of the single strongest decisions you can ever make for yourself. It may not always be the easiest path to walk in the moment, but it protects your future, it sharpens your judgment considerably, and it reminds you constantly that your life is far too valuable to build on a foundation of uncertainty. The woman who genuinely learns to judge people by their actions instead of by her own emotional highs becomes noticeably calmer, measurably wiser, and far less likely to repeat the same painful mistakes over and over again. Number 5. Protect your self-respect above all else. The single biggest mistake you can possibly make when he comes back into your life is genuinely believing that regaining his attention is somehow more important than protecting your own hard-won self-respect. Because the moment you begin trading away your standards for a bit of temporary, fleeting happiness, you slowly and steadily lose the very confidence you worked so incredibly hard to build up over time. Every single decision you make after he returns should answer one simple, clarifying question. Does this particular move genuinely bring more peace into my life, or does it just pull me straight back into confusion and chaos? That one simple question will change will protect you far better than any clever, well-crafted reply ever possibly could. There is genuinely nothing impressive or admirable about accepting behavior that keeps hurting you repeatedly, simply because you are afraid that he might leave again if you speak up. Fear has convinced countless women throughout history to ignore obvious warning signs, to stay silent when they clearly should have spoken up for themselves, and to settle for considerably less than what they truly want and deserve in life. That particular path always, without exception, leads straight to disappointment. Because when you effectively teach someone that they can repeatedly cross your personal boundaries without ever facing any real consequences, they have absolutely no genuine reason to respect those boundaries at all going forward. Real respect begins, first and foremost, with the standards you personally set for yourself. If you say that honesty matters deeply to you, then do not simply ignore clear dishonesty just because you desperately want the relationship to work out in the end. If you say that consistency matters to you, then do not passively accept constant uncertainty just because you hope things will eventually improve on their own. Your actions must genuinely match your stated values, or else your words ultimately lose all real meaning and weight. The single strongest position you can take is not loudly demanding respect from someone else. It is quietly and firmly refusing to remain in a situation where genuine respect is clearly missing. That particular decision is never an easy one to make, because your emotions will constantly tell you to hold on just a little bit longer, to make just one more excuse for his behavior, to believe just one more promise he makes. But your actual future is shaped entirely by what you repeatedly and consistently accept and tolerate, not by what you secretly wish would happen instead. Protect your daily routines, your close friendships, your physical health, and your sense of purpose fiercely and without apology. Never place another person so completely and totally at the center of your own life that their individual choices end up determining whether you have a genuinely good day or a genuinely bad one. Build a life for yourself that remains deeply meaningful and fulfilling, whether someone particular stays in it or eventually leaves it behind. When your confidence comes reliably from your own personal discipline, nobody else can easily take that away from you. No matter how hard they try, if he truly and sincerely values you as a person, he will genuinely respect the standards that protect your inner peace, instead of constantly asking you to lower them for his convenience. If he becomes visibly frustrated or annoyed simply because you refuse to ignore your own legitimate needs, that single reaction tells you far more about his true character than any lengthy conversation ever possibly could. Your self-respect is not some prize to be casually exchanged for a bit of attention. It is, quite simply, the fundamental foundation of every single healthy relationship you will ever have in your entire life. The day you fully understand and internalize that your peace is genuinely worth protecting at all costs, you stop making decisions purely out of fear and start making decisions instead that honor the woman you are actively becoming. That quiet, steady confidence changes not only your romantic relationships, but literally every other part of your life as well, because people naturally and instinctively recognize someone who genuinely knows her own worth and refuses to abandon it for the sake of temporary, fleeting comfort. Number 6, make him earn another chance from you. If he truly and sincerely wants another chance with you, let him genuinely earn it through demonstrated patience, real consistency, and genuine sustained effort, instead of simply handing it over to him the very moment he returns to your life. Because second chances should never, under any circumstances, be based on raw emotion alone. They should always be based instead on solid evidence that something has actually and genuinely changed for the better. Far too many women become so overwhelmingly grateful that he came back into their life that they completely forget to ask themselves the truly important questions. Is he communicating with you differently now than he did before? Is he genuinely taking responsibility for his own part in what went wrong previously? Is he consistently showing real respect through his actual actions, week after week, without fail? Or is he simply creating yet another fleeting emotional moment that will fade away just as quickly as it originally arrived? These particular questions matter enormously because they actively protect you from repeating the exact same painful cycle all over again, just with a slightly different beginning and, unfortunately, the exact same disappointing ending. A relationship genuinely cannot become healthy and sustainable if only one single person is doing the growing, while the other person simply expects everything to continue on exactly as it was before. Real, lasting growth requires genuine responsibility from both sides of the relationship equally. Give him the real opportunity to actually prove that he values your presence in his life, instead of simply assuming that he does without any proof. Do not rush this entire process along, because anything that gets built too quickly and hastily often ends up falling apart again just as quickly and just as easily. Let real trust grow naturally and organically through small, consistent, repeated actions instead of through grand, dramatic promises made in the heat of the moment. Continue focusing intently on your own personal life while you carefully and patiently watch to see what actually happens over time. Keep steadily improving your own health, your personal finances, your overall mindset, your close friendships, and your deeper sense of purpose in life. Never pause your own personal growth journey while you're simply waiting around to see whether someone else eventually becomes consistent or not. Your future genuinely deserves your full, undivided attention, regardless of who happens to be standing beside you at any given moment in time. Remember clearly that another chance is not something he is automatically entitled to simply because he happened to reach out to you again. It is instead something that must be genuinely developed and earned over time through demonstrated honesty, real reliability, and true mutual respect between both of you. If those particular qualities are clearly missing from the equation, then absolutely no amount of chemistry or attraction between you two can ever create lasting, genuine peace. Sometimes the single strongest decision you can make is welcoming someone back into your life slowly and cautiously. Other times, the single strongest decision you can make is walking away from the situation completely and permanently. Both of these choices genuinely require real courage because both of them require you to consciously place your own long-term peace of mind above any short-term emotional impulse you might feel. Do not measure your own success by whether or not he ultimately decides to stay in your life. Measure your success instead by whether you personally remain true to yourself throughout the entire process, from beginning to end. That, right there, is the real victory that absolutely nobody can ever take away from you. The woman who genuinely values her own core principles more than temporary, fleeting attention no longer depends at all on another person's individual choices to determine her own personal happiness. She becomes steady, disciplined, and quietly confident because her entire sense of identity is built firmly on her own consistent actions instead of on someone else's fluctuating approval. Ironically, and perhaps somewhat paradoxically, that is precisely the kind of woman who ends up attracting genuine, authentic respect wherever she happens to go in life. Not because she actively demands that respect from others, but simply because the way she consistently lives her life naturally and effortlessly earns it over time. When you finally reach that particular point in your own personal journey, you no longer worry at all about whether or not someone eventually comes back into your life. You simply ask yourself instead whether they genuinely deserve a place in the life that you personally have worked so incredibly hard to build for yourself. Remember always that the greatest possible mistake is not actually losing someone else along the way. The greatest mistake is losing yourself entirely in the desperate process of trying to keep them around. And if you're genuinely, truly ready to become the kind of woman who never again has to wonder what to do next in these kinds of relationship situations, don't let this particular opportunity pass you by, because the Stoic Relationship Blueprint course is currently available for a limited time at more than 30% off the regular price. But that particular offer is ending very soon, and once it's gone, it is genuinely gone for good. This comprehensive course gives you full lifetime access to a complete step-by-step system specifically built to help you develop noticeably stronger personal boundaries, real emotional discipline, lasting confidence, and genuine, enduring self-respect. And if you happen to prefer learning in a different way, You can also get the companion ebook and audiobook through the very same link in the description below. The years of your life will continue passing by regardless of whether you take real action or not. The only genuine question that matters here is whether you will spend those years simply repeating the exact same painful patterns, or instead, spend them actively building a genuinely stronger future for yourself. Choose, right here and right now, to become the version of yourself who decides to act today.